What's happening, everybody? It is Thursday night. It is time for Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay.
And I'm Cancer Kickin' Nay.
And here is our guest this evening. This is Katherine Stoddard. She is a new eBayer. How new, you ask? How about one sale under her belt new? That's why she's on tonight. We're going to talk to a brand new eBayer, get her feeling on how things are going. She's going to ask us some questions. It's going to be a good show. So hang tight, Katherine. We'll be back to you in about half an hour.
See you later, Katherine.
Okay.
All right, and let's hope that her Wi-Fi is kind of behind. So let's hope that catches up in the next half hour. Because it's going to be a lot of, I'm fine. So we will hopefully fix that real quick. All right, we always start off every show with oh, come on, there we go.
Here we go.
Jay's Tiki Talk. And I was about to go some totally other way, and then I remembered, hey, it's Easter on Sunday, so of course I had to drink from an Easter Island tiki mug. See what I did there, Nadine? Easter Island.
Okay, yeah, that's funny.
So, let me take a sip, and that was actually all my wife's idea, so thanks, honey. All right, so here's your little tip. Now this is...
Stacy would be the brains behind that.
Yeah. Well, I said, hey, what about rum? She goes, do you have any Easter Island rum? I'm like, oh, no, duh, I have Easter Island tiki mugs. All right, so here's the tip. This is a black moai, and they use this mug for tons and tons and tons of places, and generic too. So the worth is going to be based on the place it's from. So the shorter the place existed, the more money. If it's just a plain one, it's going to be worth about 15, 18 bucks. This is from the Fireside in Wisconsin, and you can usually get like 35, 40 bucks. And this just goes to show you, at the height of tiki, there was at least one good tiki bar restaurant everywhere. Wisconsin had them, all right? So let me have a little more sip here. And because it's Easter, and this is the best thing I can find, the closest, Old Monk rum.
Okay.
And this is actually rum made in India. So we're going all kinds of crazy. Indian rum is called Old Monk. So there we go. That's the best I can do for Easter. And what are you drinking this evening?
I have a mystery drink in my cup here.
Oh, a mystery. Is this like a game? Are we playing a game? Like, guess what's in the cup?
It's juice.
Happy juice?
What's that?
Happy juice?
Yes, it's fermented grape juice.
Nice. All right, we've done tiki, and now it's time. Rene's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Yes, so it has been a very tough week. I'm going to be very honest and candid here. I've really had an emotional kind of just almost like a breakdown. It's really hard. You know, I try to be inspiring to everyone. I try to fight. I try to keep it all together, but sometimes it really gets overwhelming, and that's reality. So I am having some major financial issues with all of the medical bills, and also losing my main job, although I've been listing and trying to balance things out. But there's a lot of red tape to go through, unfortunately, when you do have cancer or any kind of major illness. And one of the things that I think maybe I should start speaking out about a little bit is, you know, the fact that in this country, I don't think it's fair that anyone should have to be a hardworking person who has great credit, who works, you know, who does everything right, and then you get a major illness, you get sick, and you have to come out of it in bankruptcy. It just doesn't seem right to me. And so maybe I can do something to speak a little bit against that and change it. So that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up. It's kind of a private matter, but it is a reality of having a major illness and being stuck with a lot of medical bills, and you know, not being sick and not being able to work, and on and on and on. So that's one issue. Another thing is just my general health, not feeling well. I have a surgery coming up on Tuesday. A lot of people have been asking. I have a hole in my upper rib cage, which is left over from the last 11-hour surgery, and I have some other areas from rapid weight loss that have sunken in. My chest is not pretty under my clothing, and that's another reality of breast cancer. They had to take a lot of chest tissue out when I had my double mastectomy originally, and so I have areas that are sinking in. So I have no other fat in my body, so the next place that they have to take it from is my hips, because I do have some fat and tissue remaining there that they can take it from. The last surgery was my stomach. And so it will be taken from my hips and it will be transplanted into my chest to fill in the holes. There's one that's right above a major artery that is dangerous. So that's my surgery on Tuesday, and I have to have the same exact surgery repeated in 12 weeks because I am expected to lose more weight, and I will lose tissue again. So that's where I'm at right now. Surgically, that's a lot. I'm trying to take care of 3 children. I'm trying to do my eBay business. I'm trying to fight the system and all the red tape that goes with it. I'm trying to keep it all together, and also today I went to the oncologist yesterday, and it's a really tough decision staying on my medicine because it really, the side effects are very tough. You know, I have my hair, I do have a bald spot in the back underneath, thank goodness it's there. I do lose a lot in the shower every day, but I still have hair, which is the one plus. But my medicine does make me very sick. I talk about that a lot. And, you know, there's a lot of really undesirable side effects. So it becomes a matter with my oncologist of sticking it out, staying on it, or going off of it and probably having less than 5 years to live, or having a hysterectomy and choosing to try the only other available treatment, which also may not work. You know, my body just doesn't like this medicine. So I'm sticking with it. I'm going to fight on. And the other thing is I do have some good news. There's one little silver lining. I was very nervous because I had put off a test on my ovaries. They had found some cysts on my ovaries that I haven't talked about back in last July, and I was supposed to have an ultrasound in December, and I put it off because I was afraid, honestly, that they were going to find something. And my oncologist encouraged me to get the ultrasound, to do it. And I do have some good news because I had it today, and the technician, who probably put her job on the line by telling me this, so we'll keep it quiet, she told me that the cysts have shrunk, so she knew I was very worried. So that's a really good sign. So my doctor has to give me the official read on it, but because they've shrunk, I have another 6 months until I have to have that scan again, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any cancer at all because they would have grown if there was cancer there. So my next thing, I have a growth on my thyroid. I need to take care of that. I'll get that scan, and I'm just going to keep fighting. I'm going to stay in my medicine. I'm going to keep soldiering through the surgeries, through all the red tape, through everything. And the other thing is I want to say, and I know this is long, I'm not going to do a tip this time, but it's really important to me because it's been a really tough week. And I want to be very honest about everything that I'm going through, because people need to know that this is the reality of cancer. It's not all pink ribbons and happiness and laughter, and so there's a lot of tears too, and it's tough. So I want to thank my friends. You all know who you are, my family, everybody knows who's been there for me this week, and I want to say thank you because I do need the help. I'm very stubborn, and it's hard to say I need help. I need people to support me, and I need to rely on people, but I do right now. So thank you Jay, thank you all of our lifeguards, all of my friends, all of my family. And also I got 2 wonderful packages yesterday, so I want to say thank you to Tom in Florida and Joyce in California. You both know who you are, and thank you, and I'll cut it off there. So Tuesday is my surgery. I will try to be on the show next Thursday after my surgery next week. So.
And speaking of packages, if you've been following our show for the last 2 weeks and our board, you know I sent an awesome gift that was supposed to be there last week, but decided to take a turn and head to Hawaii. So, hey, guess what showed up? So we will be unveiling that at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned right to the bitter end. Kind of like Marvel Comics movies, there's something good right at the end of the movie. So make sure you stay tuned. All right, let's get into it here. Here we go. Time for the scores of the week, brought to you by WorthPoint. Oops, helps to click that button. And let's get our scores up here. Alrighty, so I will. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right, here we go. Nay, you are off and running.
Okay, I'm first this time.
Yep.
Oh, I told you to get rid of that.
I know.
All right. So this is a Chico's Travelers knit top. Always pick up that brand when you find it. And what size was this one? It was I don't remember. Does it say in the listing? I can't see my whole title there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on.
It's okay. I think it was a smaller size. Oh, it's a 2. Yeah, that's a large. Okay. But okay, so never mind that. It did take a little bit to sell, but still, I expected it to sell. That brand has slowed down a little bit, but if you ever find Chico's Travelers in good condition, they have vanity sizing, by the way. A 2 is a large, a 0 is a small, 1.
Oh my God, that is so annoying.
Yeah. So you just have to know the vanity sizes and what they translate to. But you know, if you find that brand, always pick it up if it's cheap enough and in good condition. It always sells. People love that brand. So. And this is a score along with another item that came.
All right, so the purse.
The purse and the blush were both purchased, and it's always great when you have a multi purchase from a buyer. They were purchased by my good friend Lorna, and it was really sweet of her. She said, "Go do something fun with your boys with the purchase," and I hope it's on its way to her, and I hope she enjoys it. And I love you, Lorna. Thank you. So that was a score because my friend Lorna bought it from me. So
Lorna's awesome.
Yes, she is. We love Lorna. And this I was with UJ back at the junk store in Phil. I think it was back in last June or something. It was a while ago. It's a Laurel Birch pin, and I only paid a couple dollars for it. Always look for Laurel Birch, anything. It has a very distinct look. And that went, I had it up for $50. I knew it would go a little less. I accepted a $30 offer, and it went. They paid $13 shipping on top of that to Canada. It did go GSP.
Canada.
Mm-hmm. So I got $30. You know, I thought $30 was a good offer, and that's like a very light package to ship, even internationally. So, and this is Liberty of London for Target. Always look for the Target brands, except for Massimo, except for there's a couple of them that are not good to look for. But for the most part, designers will do labels for Target, and most of them, with the exception of a few that have really tanked, will sell well. Missoni did one. If you find Missoni for Target, grab it. You know, there's a few others too that I always grab, but for the most part, if it's a good price, pick it up. This I think I paid half price. It was $4.99. Sold it for $34.95. The only reason it was a little slower was because it was a size small. But if you find Liberty of London regular label or Target label, grab it.
All right, somebody's asking to spell your store name. Now, if you look down here in the description of the show, right underneath who our guest is, you will see my store, Nay's store, our fan page, the Thrifting Board group, a link to buy a T-shirt from us. So if you want to help out, you can also buy a T-shirt. That money goes to Nay and I. So all that stuff's right at the bottom. Makes it real easy to find our stuff. All right, let me hop into my scores. This first one comes with a lesson. I had no clue what this is worth because I couldn't really find one. This was maybe a necklace or maybe just a souvenir from the Travel Lodge in Tahiti, and it was only like 2 inches tall, 4 inches tall, and I put it up for $200. It was maybe listed for about 6, 7, 8 months, and somebody offered me $100 today, so I was happy to take it.
Wow, so why is it worth that much? Is that the item that you had to find in your storage?
Yeah, just because it's old. They don't. I don't even know if there is a Travel Lodge in Tahiti anymore. But I shot for the stars, and I was happy to take $100. So some people get mad when you get a 50% offer. I was very happy, so I moved that out today. Speaking of a good offer, this CD is worth about $100, give or take. The one problem was the one I picked up for only $1 was missing the back cover. Now that doesn't mean a lot, but to collectors it does. And the person who bought this was buying it for the collectability of this CD. It is the soundtrack to the movie Action Jackson, which was an awesome 80s movie. And that's Carl Weathers and Vanity, who just passed away. so it was a good time to get it up there. But I got $40 for it, and I paid $1.
Awesome. I have not seen that movie. Okay, so.
Well, wait a minute. I thought I had one more. I guess I don't. I lied. Okay, hang on.
That's my dad.
Yeah, I know. I thought I had one more, but I guess not. All right, I guess I saved it for next week. So speaking of duds, let's do that, shall we?
Sure.
Well, first we had our scores of the week. Now it's time for duds of the week. All right, so let's get right back to your duds since we were almost there. And here we go. Yep.
Okay. So that is a dud because usually with wool yarn it does sell better, but don't just buy one skein of yarn if it's, I think this was in one of the bags, but really it's better to lot them up or sell them multi-variation if you have multiples. But I just sold this one single and it finally sold after like a year for $8.99 with free shipping, and I had to really dig for it, so it's been listed for a while. But it's gone. And this one, yeah, this one was a dud. It's a bad picture too. But I bet it would have sold sooner. The glare is horrible in that. But that's been listed so long that I think it's been listed since the beginning of my store. Another one that I really had to dig for. I had that panicky moment of, oh my gosh, do I still have this item? And then I found it. So it's just been listed forever. That's why. But at $14.95 with free shipping, it went. So that's a good thing. And this is the ugliest tie I've ever sold, I think. And my tie sales for some reason have slowed down. I do have some more ties to list too, but I was rocking the tie sales, and then I just dropped this one down to $12.99 with free shipping, and somebody bought the ugly thing, and it's gone.
All right, and mine is not going to look like a dud. I didn't really sell it for $89.99. I sold it for $55, which still might not look like a dud, but I paid $35 for it, so I shouldn't have bought it, and unfortunately, I bought like 5. So,
okay.
That 35 to 55 with free shipping. Yeah, there is profit there, but I thought it would be better. But you live and learn. And speaking of that, again, it didn't sell for $29.99. It sold for $20. Not all Tommy Bahamas are created equal. I liked it because it was long sleeve, but it's just plain rust color, so there wasn't anything exciting to it. I mean, I made a couple bucks, but it wasn't as thrilling as I had hoped. So that's why I put that in my duds this week, just because
$29.99. That's not a bad sale.
No, it was only 20. It was only 20.
Oh, you took the best offer. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes you learn within the brand. So keep that in mind. Sometimes not everything is created equal within the brand, and sometimes it is. All right, now it's time for close encounters of the thrifty kind. I'll let you jump it off because I get some pictures ready.
Okay. So I'm not prepared for this segment.
You're not?
No, I forgot my thrifty encounter. So
all right, then we'll skip you and I'll do mine.
You go first. I'll think of one.
If you don't got one, you don't got one. We can move on.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So my thrifty encounter is like multiple parts across 2 states. It's very bizarro. So I was in Orlando speaking at Chris Green's Scam Power Conference. And my friend Haley came down to visit, and we went out with a bunch of people from the conference, and the next morning her and I went to a character breakfast. So I had breakfast with Goofy, Donald, and Minnie. And then she was taking me to the airport, but we had a little time to kill, and there was a goodwill between breakfast and the airport. So this was not planned. No one knew I was going. I just stopped in. Well, wouldn't you know it, I bumped into 2 surfers from the Thrifting Board who weren't together. So I bumped into Heidi Tarling and Nancy Ford. And Heidi took a snap of me when I didn't know it and put it up and said, "Oh, I see Jason in our group." And so here's the picture. The one on the left is obviously I'm not paying attention to the person taking a picture, and that's my friend Haley. And so then we ended up talking and meeting her. But then I was doing, if you follow me on Periscope, I do a little 5-minute show called Show Me What You Got. And we did number 5 from this Orlando Goodwill. Now, here's the weird thrifty encounter part. While this is happening, and there was no forewarning, I didn't tell people I was doing one, back in Ohio, back in my hometown of Chardon, my mother is sitting in the doctor's waiting room for a checkup, and she is, by weird chance, sitting next to Haley's grandmother. So my mom and Haley's grandmother are talking, and then my mom gets the whistle that I'm periscoping, and when she turns it on, it's me and Haley. So there is my weird thrifty encounter of the week. It's like the two families were joined across many, many states. So do you have one, or are we just going to move on?
Actually, I can think of, I just had a nice woman a while ago who offered me her shopping cart. She took the stuff out of hers. I had arms full, and I wasn't expecting it. This is at my Goodwill, where shopping carts are scarce. They actually got a load of shopping carts in, and then they started disappearing again. They get stolen. So yeah, so there was so I was I had a big armful, and she took the stuff out of hers, and she said to me, "Hey, you know what? I only have a few things. Why don't you take my cart?" I was like, "Really? Thank you. Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, no problem." And it was really helpful because I have the lymph node issues in my right arm, and I was actually in pain from holding everything. So it was really sweet of her. That happened a while back, and I just thought of that one on the fly. So
good job on the fly. All right, now it's time for our thrifty tips of the week. Now, does yours include a picture?
Yes, I have a picture. I have two pictures for this one.
Oh yeah, okay. So you start talking, and I put them up right now.
Okay. So my thrifty tip is that when you see something that's usually a bolo or something to look for on the look for list, just remember that particular item might not be. So don't be too quick to pick it up. Now this is usually toner, computer, printer toner is, you would think that's a bolo. Pick it up, grab it. Sealed Hewlett-Packard LaserJet toner cartridge, $9.99 at Goodwill. So I looked up that exact model, that number, and if you can see on the completeds there that I found, there was a whole lot of, like, I think it was
5.
Okay, for $29 with free shipping. One went for $5 plus the shipping cost. One went for $12.99. So, and then I looked up other on the same, when I looked it up, other HP toner cartridges were going for like, $50, one was like $100 and something. It was crazy. But that particular one, they wanted $10 at Goodwill, and if I had bought that, I would have really bought a dud. So always, even if you think it's something that you found a good score, still check it out because you don't always know.
Good tip. And mine is going back to my thrifty encounter. So I'm in the store, who's a thrifter. Of course, I'm flying home, so I got to be really selective of what I buy. My friend Haley's in the store. She makes most of her living off of thrifting and selling on eBay. And 2 of our surfers from the Thrifting Board are in the store. And guess what? We all found stuff. So if you walk into a thrift store and you see one of your competition or one of your buddies, don't think, shit, I should just leave. Just think, hey, even though we all kind of hum in the same circles, we all have our specialties. Now, I asked the 2 surfers I ran into, did you guys find stuff? And they showed me some great stuff. Some of the stuff they had got before I got there, and a couple things they had grabbed after I looked around, and either I didn't see them or didn't realize they were good scorers. So don't get discouraged if you see your competition already in the store. There is plenty to be had. Trust me on that.
Yeah, there's really no competition with all of the this country has so much waste and abundance that there's no competition, really.
Yep. All right, we've done our thrifting tips. Now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. Rene and I share the successes and failures of shipping. Mine today is a weird success, and I might have shown this before, but I was cleaning my office, and I've always kept this, and I have to show it again. We have new viewers all the time. Thank you to the 120 of you who tuned in tonight. Thank you to everyone who watched after the fact. I bought a tiki mug once. What? I bought a tiki mug? I know. Shocker. He didn't have bubble wrap. So this was his fix for not having bubble wrap. He took peanuts and taped them around the mug like bubble wrap. So essentially, I'm going to have another random mug over here. Essentially, the mug went in here, and the peanuts were around it like bubble wrap. He made his own bubble wrap. So, genius. So if you get stuck, figure something out. You can do it. You can be genius like this too. That's always been my favorite. Ooh, I think I got a peanut in my beard now too.
Okay, so my shipping tip also comes with photos.
Oh yes, sorry.
That Jay's gonna pull up right now.
Yeah, hit it.
So my item that took a vacation in Hawaii that Jason shipped to me came a little bit crushed and damaged, as I took pictures just to show Jay because he wanted, I guess, in case there was something wrong with the actual item, which I don't know for sure yet, but it looks like everything is fine. I haven't opened it yet. So, but the box came looking like that. So on its trip to Hawaii, it had some really fun party times apparently, because it was smashed and the sides were broken open. Now there's two ways to look at this. And I can say, because I always say don't, my last shipping tip was don't over tape, and Jay always says don't over tape. Well, had it been me and I had taped up the sides wouldn't have been open. However, Jay packed it so well inside that nothing came out, nothing appears broken. So it didn't matter that the box was all cracked up and opened and stuff. And there was nothing really there were some postcards in there too, but none of them fell out. Everything was fine. So if you pack your item well inside the box, it doesn't really matter what happens to the box. On the other hand, if you want to add a couple extra pieces of tape to the sides in case that does happen, it's up to your discretion. So.
Yep, so basically you're just saying how bad of a job I did. Thank you.
No, I was not saying. I was saying
just
you did a good job.
I'm kidding.
Even though the box was smashed to smithereens, the item was...
I'm kidding. Relax, I'm kidding you. I'm just messing with you. All right, now it's time for our viewers. Excuse me. Puberty, it's great. For our viewers, 2-minute topic of the week. This week, our question was submitted by MJ Thorne. Thank you very much, MJ. When dealing with clothing sizes, do you use a standard chart and still give measurements? What measurements do you give? Ooh, I like this question. And that's the first time I read it.
Goodness.
I know. Well, like I said, I just got home from speaking, so I'm catching up with life.
Okay.
All right. Oh, well, since the last time we did the timer, it's been going for 167 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. So, Nay, oops, sorry. Didn't mean to bang the mic there. All right, Nay, you are up. Let me start you off, and here you go.
So I don't use standard size charts. Some specific brands do have charts that you can refer to, but because of the fact that most of the clothing that I sell is used, you have to take into consideration the fact that first of all, not all brands, not all are created equally size-wise, and you have to also take into account with used clothing, dry cleaning, washing, wearing, and everything. Reshapes clothing, it shrinks it, it stretches it. So you could have two shirts in the same size, one's new with tags, one's been pre-washed, and they have different measurements. So I always give every single measurement possible, and because I'm a hippie girl, I won't be so Tuesday probably, but because I have wider hips, I also do give a hip dimension for the ladies' clothes. That's one of the ones that's often forgotten, but I need that dimension in my pants, my dresses, my skirts, and whatnot. So that's an extra one that I add in. But otherwise, the usual standard.
Oh no, you're done.
Okay.
I just want to say I know some of you are under some serious weather conditions, so please be safe. I know some of you are watching us from like basements and safe rooms.
Oh my goodness!
So, wow. Yeah, I won't tell you.
Aware.
I won't tell you 75 and blue skies here. I won't tell you that.
Well, it's not Philly.
All right, let me do mine here. Yeah, I don't follow any standard sizes. I definitely list all measurements, and the most important thing I think is if you measure something out and it does not equal the tag, so it shrunk in washing or was just made wrong, ignore that tag. Do not put that tag in your title because you'll only have an unhappy customer. So, for instance, if men's jeans say 36 waist and it's 34, you go with 34. Now, in the description, I will absolutely put tag says 36, but please note actual measurement is 34. So, yes, all shirts, I do chest and back. If it's a long sleeve, I do the sleeve. And then pants, obviously, I do inseam and waist. Women's dresses, I do chest, waist, and hips. And I always make sure to do both inches and centimeters because most of the world isn't like us. They're in the metric system. So don't make your customers have to convert. Convert it for them. Yeah! That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Good question, too, though. Very good question.
Very good question, yes.
All right, and then every 4 weeks every 4 weeks we have a different topic, and this time it is our last segment before our guests. J and Nay's Trendy Bolos.
Okay.
And if you don't know what bolo is, we never say this, Nay, but some people don't know.
I see an item, so go first. Sorry.
Be on the lookout. Oh, wait a minute. I was gonna have you go first. All right. I will jump right in here. Hang on a minute. All right. So here's my trendy bolo of the week, and I'm telling you today because we have a show next week which won't have the trendy bolo segment, and then we're gonna be off for 2 weeks because I'm gonna be on vacation. Excuse me. April 16th. It is Record Store Day. Now, those who don't know about Record Store Day was meant to bring business into independent record stores. And so what happens is new releases come out on vinyl, 7-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, box sets, singles, everything. And you can buy the right ones and flip them for good profit. So the trendy bolo is get prepped for April 16th. So here is the website you're looking for. And I'm going to be in town, but I'm just coming back, and I have an event to go to that day, so I don't think I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to do my usual wait in line for an hour and a half before they open. But go to recordstoreday.com, and then you want to find the list. So here's the list of everything coming out, alphabetical, what size format, and how many. That's kind of the key. You're looking for the lower volume one. So as you can see, we got 2,000, 3,000, and I saw one that was only like 450. So here's the key. The key is the night before, some record stores will be already selling some of these things online. So you will see sales already. So you should look at this list and look at what's sold, and you will see the hot items. So go find those, and you have to get them listed right away. Don't go home, take a nap, maybe list tomorrow. There is a very short window, but if you offer international shipping and you put it in the sweet spot of a price, you can make some good, quick money. So learn your list and have your LP and 45 mailers ready to go.
Okay, good tip.
All right, you're up.
And mine is that I was going to do a different one, but actually, if you remember my score from last week with the elephant, the wooden elephant coasters, and if you look at this bag, which I still have to get listed, if you can see up close, it's got elephants on it.
Put it down a little bit.
Okay.
You see your face. There we go.
All right. Do you see the elephants on it?
Now we do, yes.
Okay. So I love giraffes, as everybody knows, but elephants are another thing that everyone loves. They kind of like horses. They never go out of style, and always look for items with elephants with the trunks up, not down, because they sell better. The trunk up means good luck, and more people will go for the elephants with the trunks up. So if you see items with elephants with their trunks up, purchase them. They'll sell. Okay, and we have
Cat nap corner time. Which cat is on Naystep? Could it be Milo? Phoebe. I don't know. Is it my boy Half Point? It's never my boy Half Point.
No, it's never your boy.
But I do see Milo. And Milo was actually quite funny before he went on the air. He kind of oh, I see Phoebe up there too. Milo kind of pranced down the stairs, and then he kind of looked around. It was quite comical, but we weren't on the air yet. So of course we get on the air, and this is what he does. He just sleeps.
I missed him doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Sometimes he's indecent. Sometimes he's just sleeping. But
he was way more animated when we weren't on the air. What the hell, Milo? All right, well, let's get to it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Oh, real quick, don't forget, coming up at the end of the show, Nay's opening her present. And
oh, yeah.
If you would like to get a Thrifty business with Jay and Nay shirt, being Thrifty is our business. It's all our businesses. Go right to the link down below to Amazon. You can pick from 5 different colors, kid sizes up to 3X men sizes. So outfit the whole family. This is our product, so we make the money from it. So that's one of the ways to help out if you'd like to buy a T-shirt. All right, let's get our guest in here. It is time. Oh, hey, who's there? Oh, it's Katherine Stoddard. Let's bring her in here. Hello, Katherine. Where are you?
Right here.
Hi, Katherine. How are you?
Hey.
What's happening?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Oh, y'all. No, you can tell Katherine is from Detroit.
I am still lagging.
So, we had Katherine on
saying.
because Katherine was in our group, and she had posted, she had listed her first item. And, man, we have not talked to a seller that new. You know, your first item, and not only was it her first item, it got 4 bids. So, I don't think there could be anything better for a first-timer than to list an auction and get 4 bids. I mean, that's awesome. Because I got to guess, first-timers usually goes the other way. They list something, and then it's like, wah, wah, wah. All right, so before we get into all about you, since we're talking about, let's look at your first item real quick here, and then we'll get your little backstory there.
Okay.
And here's your item. Now, and I got to tell you, all right, Katherine, so you're new eBayer. As we can see, Katherine has 2 feedbacks. I know nothing about the Littlest Pet Shop other than I know the right ones will get you some money. Am I right?
That's a good winning bid there.
Yeah.
And where'd you find this,
I
Katherine?
paid $3. The Goodwill, no, not Goodwill. The Dollar General clearance bins.
You bought it at a dollar store?
Wow.
A Dollar General for $3 in the
A
clearance.
Dollar General, she's saying, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
And you had 4 bids, and were they 4 different people? Let's see. Yeah, so 3 different people were bidding, and your first item sold for $28.04. Now, how did that feel?
Pretty good.
Bummer. Hurt.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're lagging.
We can hear you. You're just a little slow. It's okay.
I'm going to turn you up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just have to deal with some of the technical difficulties.
Yep. So how'd that feel, Katherine?
Pretty good.
I bet. Yeah, that was a good first sale. That was better than my first sale, I'll tell you.
I've been on so long, I don't even remember my first sale.
I remember my first sale. It was a pair of shoes. And
I'm pretty sure I'll remember.
All right, so hopefully your connection will stay good. So why don't you give us a little background, who you are, why you are, where you are, what you are, that kind of thing. Give us like your 2-minute bio.
Okay. I'm Katherine. I am 22 years old. I am a junior at Delta State. I have a 3.5-year-old son. I am a single mom. I work 2 jobs, full-time student, and mommy. And I've been thrifting since I was a junior in high school.
Wow, that's cool.
So until this point, you were just thrifting for yourself.
And
right?
Okay.
Pretty much.
So what made you realize, what was the point that made you realize I can make money on this? What made you start to sell, put an item on eBay and open up an account?
Well, eBay, I used to have a big problem with shopping on eBay when I was pregnant with my son. He had his entire room and entire wardrobe for the first 1.5 years of his life before I was like even 20 weeks pregnant. And I constantly was thrifting still. And I started thinking, I was like, I could list this on either eBay or I could do local. And so I did local Facebook yard sale pages for, well, up until a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so you were selling on local Facebook
Okay, so you
sale
had
pages.
some experience selling on
But
that.
not right.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was just my extra cash, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So what made you make the jump to eBay?
Honestly, the support from the group.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
I'm not gonna lie, it really was.
Oh, that's really great. That's great to hear.
And what group would that be? Now,
that one that it's ran by some lifeguards?
I only ask that because some people tuning in might not be in the group, you know. So
yeah, that's true.
It is the Thrifting Board, which is down below.
Thrifting Board.
Yep. And Thrifting Board is a group that we run, and we are up to over 11,000 members, trucking for 12,000.
We're doing great in a short time, too.
All right, so good question from the chat.
Oh, yeah, Robin, that's a good question.
Yeah, how'd you find the Thrifting Board?
Okay. So I get these random little spurts where I just go on Facebook and start searching for groups. And it was one of my little random spurts, and I typed in thrifting, and that and several other groups. You know.
Okay. We don't have to say it. Yeah, we can.
Yeah. But they all popped up, and this was the one that I've stuck with.
Well, that's good. It's
good to hear.
Yeah, and the one thing we definitely are allowing more of than the first group I ran is success stories, and we're hearing lots of them. And this is like a prime example. Like, she found the group, she listened, she read, she absorbed, and she listed her first item and got 4 bids and sold it. I mean, that's awesome.
That's great.
Makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
It really does. And did you ever watch our show before you were in the group, or did you just found the group first?
I found the group first, and then.
Oh no!
Oh no, that's not good.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no! She found the group first, and then the internet swallowed her alive.
Oh boy.
So let's hope she comes back. Oh my! Oh my!
Yeah, so maybe you can message her and ask her to.
Yeah, that was the craziest, most awful, weirdest time.
That's the first time that our guest has ever dropped out, and I think she's back. Okay, yeah. That's good.
Hello.
Oh, she's there.
It did it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you came back in. That was okay. That's okay. It happens.
I'm just lagging big time.
So you said you found the group and then you found the show?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then the internet swallowed you alive.
Goodbye. Yeah, and then that was the next thing that happened. Yes.
It hates me.
All right. So let's look at your store, because you do have a few things listed right now, and I'm going to show a prime example of someone who paid attention, because I like almost everything about your listings, and I've seen veteran sellers have way crappier listings. So right now you have 9 things up here, and I mean, like this, both of these Sesame Street plush, but especially the honker one, that's a great picture.
Yeah, it pops from the background. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on it. It's in focus. It's taking up the whole picture. There's not a lot of wasted space.
What is your background? Can you?
Okay, like I was telling Jay, I clean the steps in my garage, and it's just my garage steps.
Okay. So my suggestion would be to get just a solid plain, like a sheet or a piece of poster board or something like that. But your picture pops, and you have good lighting.
Well, she's definitely doing it here, but I know I'm totally with you, Nay. But I didn't hate it when she told me what it was. I didn't hate it because
no, I'm just not like I can tell that it's some kind of a floor. Yep. That's all. That was the only thing that I was thinking.
Right.
But the lighting is good.
But good pictures, and you got multiple pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got the sides, the close-ups, a lot of newer people take out of focus pictures, they take bad pictures, and they only put like 2 pictures in, and you have 12. So. And
your description is pretty much what you need. The only thing I would add on this one is there's no height. So you have the height of Murray, but you don't have the height of Honker.
Mm-hmm.
Writing that down.
There you go. So, but you're right on because also a lot of times you will find plush of the same character in a variety of sizes. Mm-hmm. So someone who's looking for the 9-inch doesn't want the 15-inch or vice versa.
Now, I would recommend. Now, the Sesame Street, the honker one, you really maximize your keywords there. But I would recommend for you always to, just throw in any keywords you can think of. Use all your keyword space, because I see in the other one, in the red one, that you didn't maximize your keyword. So they're good keywords, but always, use all the space that you can.
Hold on, Caden's having a fit.
Well, I heard your son.
Let me check on that.
No problem.
Okay.
Oops, I've lost our screen. Here we go. Yeah, so while she's checking on her son, and that is the epitome, and we've seen it with Nay at a stay-at-home mom who was working online.
My kids are at my parents' tonight, which is very rare. That's very rare. But I had so many doctor's appointments this week, and I had my test today, and it's spring break here in Philadelphia, so I had nowhere to put my kids. So my parents, God bless them, in their 70s, have all 3 kids tonight. So I'm kid-free tonight, which is unusual.
All right, Catherine. So, and I agree with the chat. The chat's saying you should up your prices, make it free shipping, and it'll show up better in search. And we don't need 2 of me, that's for sure. Hang on, I'm going back to this one. Yeah, but I got to tell you, still, even though we're giving all these great suggestions, for a first timer, man, you are way ahead of the curve. And you got new in there. So I'm guessing you're grabbing these titles from other people who are selling them, because your titles aren't consistent. So like this one right here, you got a nice long title, you're filling it up. This one's kind of short.
Right. Well, I kind of go off of it, but everything else I do myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I keep the numbers and the names, because on some of the boxes they don't have names.
Okay.
Like the actual Littlest Pet Shop toy official name. And so, like, hold on. There's some that's sporty. Well, but everything else is mine. Ooh, I have one watch.
All right, make sure you don't have sideways pictures like this one.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But, skipping that, that's a great up-close, in-focus picture of the item, new in package. That's awesome.
Yeah, yep.
Yep, just make sure you don't have any sideways pictures. But, okay. I really, for a new eBay, I do not have a ton of complaints. We're just gonna fine tune you a little bit, and what I want to do is, because there are great suggestions in the chat, but unfortunately the chat goes away once the show ends. Mm-hmm. We're gonna pop your store into the group if you don't mind, and we're gonna have people give you suggestions, and that way you can see them all written down for you. That cool?
Sounds great.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So since you're a new eBayer, and now we've seen your stuff, I said, how about we flip the script here, and we'll let you ask us some questions. Now, what I was thinking about was questions that you had about selling, and you came up with more kind of like fun questions. So we'll go ahead and hit those. But then I want to see, like what you need to know to get to do more selling. All right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we want to, but you can ask us all the fun questions too.
Yeah. So. You have the floor, Catherine.
Okay. Let's see. Jason, explain how and when and where, why the tiki obsession started.
So the tiki obsession it's a very very specific story. My wife and I had been we grew up in Cleveland, and we had moved to Long Beach, California, and we were living near the ocean. We were living on a lagoon, and we'd been there for about 6 months. And I was kind of looking at our furniture we brought with us from Cleveland and our decor from Cleveland, and I was just like, meh. So my wife came home from work one day, and I go, hey, I want to get rid of all this and start over. And she said, what do you want to do? And I said, how about tiki, Hawaiian, beachy, piratey? And she said, all right, sounds like fun. Then we started to aim just for tiki, and then the next thing you know, if you've ever been to my house, there's a whole pirate bathroom. There's seashells everywhere.
Yeah.
Hawaiian and tiki aren't always exactly the same thing, but we put all that together. So it's just a conscious decision I had in the spring of 2001, and we ran with it. and we discovered the whole scene. There's a whole scene. There's music. There's rum. There's events, and we loved it. Oh, Catherine fell out again.
Oh no.
So we loved it, and that's why I got into tiki, and it turned into something that's also very fruitful in flipping. And I'll give you a little quick tease. This will be the mug we talk about next week. All right, so there's our little tease.
Oh, that is a good tease. Yeah, your house is kind of like a museum, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boys would not be allowed there. No way. Yes, there's a lot of, but it's awesome. Very
and Catherine, you have to tune in to the replay to hear my answer since you dropped out.
Okay, so I think she's muted now.
No, she's not. That's the problem.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm going to mute her and unmute her and see if that'll fix it.
Okay.
But luckily, she said the question. Oh, wait.
Hello?
There we go. There you go.
Okay. This is for both of you. What is y'all's all-time favorite brand besides the brands that we talk about, I guess, a lot in the group?
So what's our favorite brands to thrift and to resell?
Yes.
All right, Nay. I think I know yours, but go ahead. Actually, we should have answered each other's, but go ahead.
Yeah, so mine is, it varies. You can't really, you kind of get to know your brands. You get to know the high-end brands, and some of the brands cycle through, like Chico's, for example, that I mentioned. That has lost some of its momentum, but it's always a good I call them bread and butter brands, like a B&B brand, like Banana Republic, some of those brands. And then there's the higher end brands like the Missoni, like the Nina Ricci, the Lilly Pulitzer. You just kind of learn after a while. It's very hard to give a list of specific brands because it's just a matter of learning and just figuring it all out and knowing what will sell and what won't, and that's all I can say, really.
All right, so of my three, only one's male. Rain Spooner Hawaiian shirts, and Cacique bras, and Lilly Pulitzer anything.
Is that Cacique or Cacao?
Yeah, it's Cacique. I did it right this time. So, I mean, that's the things that I know instantly. I pick up. I'm like, I'm good.
Robin said Vera Bradley and Levi's. That's true too. I look for those. Actually, I'm not a jean seller. I need to get more into jeans, but Vera Bradley, yes, too.
I love Vera Bradley and Lilly, and Judith March.
Yep, that's you kind of learn your niche, and you, like I said, as you go along, you kind of learn what to buy and what not to buy.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Okay, let's look. All right, this is for both. How old were you when you started thrifting?
Everyone knows my answer, but I don't know Nate's answer.
Well, I started out as I explained in one of our episodes. I think it was with when we had Dusty on. That I started out with flea markets with my parents when I was a little girl, and I'm talking probably 3 or 4, that young. And they would, they'd bundle me up in the morning. I grew up in New Jersey, kind of north central, and it would be the dead of winter, and they'd bundle me up, and they'd take me out to these flea markets, and I loved it. So that's really how I started. But then as I got to be in my teens, I started thrifting. I started hitting thrift stores, and I was very kind of artsy, and that was, I'm an artist and that was just when I was a teenager, I started to really love thrifting and just putting my own outfits together, and it was really for myself. And I started realizing, wow, you can get things that are, I had my first job, and I could get things that were much less expensive. So I really enjoyed it for myself then, and all through my 20s, my 30s, and then I started realizing, I could make money at it. But I've been a thrifter at heart probably since I was a little girl, since I started hitting the flea markets, and then when I was a teenager and I started actually thrifting just for fun. I've always had a passion for it.
I was drugged to my first flea market when I was 6, but I didn't really start thrifting until I was 10. And I remember when it happened, I was at a community sale, and I realized my $20 could buy about 3 times as many used toys as new toys at Children's Palace. So that's when I knew. 10 years old, I was hooked.
Well then, okay. This is, I guess, my little inner nerd. How much, like, how often do you run across comic books?
Oh. Me personally, I have never really thrifted or been, that's just not my niche. So I actually ran across some comic books in the Goodwill, in my local Goodwill a while ago, and I just didn't know what to do with them, so I just avoided them because I really, it's not my thing. It's not, like, kind of like records and CDs. It's just not. But I don't know if they were good or bad, or so. Yeah, that's my answer.
I haven't run across any in a while, but I do have about 3 long boxes of bagged and boarded comics in my storage unit that need to get listed and sold. And I know I got some good money in there. And I bought them years ago, and it's just one of those items that just kind of got pushed to the back, so I need to get in there. But I do have a good fair amount that I think will bring some decent money. But when I see them, I look through them. I have not seen any good ones in a while where I would actually pick them up. And what I mean by good is a good return. Like, I read comics when I was a kid. I would pick some cool stuff up to read now. But if I have not seen anything good in a while. So that tells me you're a comic book reader, huh?
I collect more with my stepdad.
Okay, that's
Gotcha.
cool.
So I have about 1,000.
Whoa!
Wow, that's a collection.
No kidding.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
No problem. So, Nate, did you ever read a comic book, ever?
Actually, I have some Sandman. I don't know if you've heard of the Sandman series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of those that they kind of got inherited by. They kind of got inherited by an ex-boyfriend years ago, so I do have those, and I should probably look at listing them, actually. I don't know if they're worth anything, but I did actually read those, yeah.
Yeah, let's take those out and see what you have, because you might have some gem. You never know.
Yeah, I still have the stack of them that, like I said, they just kind of got left over from.
All right, yeah, let's
boyfriend.
take those out. I want to check them out.
Yeah.
Everything okay there, Catherine? Well, I'm trying to unmute you, but it won't let me. Hang on a minute.
Yes, he just showed us start. No biggie. All right, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hey, look, like I said, I partnered with a mother. I get it. No problem.
Yeah, yeah. So I've got 3 little boys.
Right.
So.
Yeah. We're good. My mom. Thank goodness for her tonight. All right. Let's see. My next question was, when you began, what 3 items did you start out with? This may have been answered. Or
What 3 items did we
start?
Like the things we thrifted first?
Yes.
So for me, it was
Besides your toys.
Yeah. So for me, it was definitely toys, and I was a book nerd, and I loved to read. Excuse me. And I was big into Dungeons and Dragons in the '80s. In the '80s, I had a thief named Sheba. Sheba was awesome, and so anytime I could find Dungeons and Dragons books or the things to oh my God.
Oh, you're not going to take that, are you?
Oh, I'm just hanging up on it. So I always hunted for toys, books, and anything Dungeons and Dragons related. So that's where I started, and I still have some of those things I originally thrifted. And at some point I'll flip them, because at this point I was 10. I am now 45. There were some money.
Okay.
Right.
So my first
All right.
my first 3 items were obviously all, since I love fashion and shoes and clothing and accessories, they were, my first item I sold was a pair of women's shoes. They were actually a vintage pair of shoes that I had bought on eBay, and they did fit me. They were too narrow, so I sold those. And I also probably a dress and a shirt, I would say, but all women's clothing, 'cause that's what I love. I'll always love that.
Okay. Okay. My next question is actually being female, have you ever had a guy date you?
Oh,
I missed
yeah. So did
things.
you catch that? Because I missed it.
Yeah, no. Wait, I think she got cut off.
Being a female, is it going out on me?
No, we hear
No,
you.
I can hear you. We're good.
Okay. Being a female, has a guy ever tried to intimidate you while thrifting?
No, I'm really not intimidated by any other thrifters. I get right in there and I'll go and do what I have to do. I won't push people aside literally, but if they get in my space, I'll take back over my space. And you know, I've never been intimidated by anyone, male or female. I've honestly never given it a thought. So has that ever happened to you? Why do you ask that question?
I was just wondering. I guess being younger, everybody's, I guess, not as open to me being a thrifter, I guess. They're just like, why are you here? You know, but I do have my ladies who have known me, and we're all just so now. So,
Okay. So you have to just get in there. You have to just get in there and not be afraid to take over your thrifting territory.
Okay. All right. The guesstimation of the highest profit you've ever made on an item. All right, baby.
Let's meet.
It's very cold. Here, come here. They said they want to meet you. It messed up.
Aw.
He's a cutie.
Can you say hey? Say
Aw.
All right, so Nate, her question was, what's the biggest profit you ever made on an item?
That still stands as $269 from a 1980s under-the-counter coffee maker, and I got it free from my parents. So
I'll say my biggest probably profit margin was a $2 CD that sold for $535. So
that's
oh well, I also did a Beatles record at $8 went to 3,000. So that's a better profit margin. It'd be about close. So those are our two better ones. All right, Catherine, give us your best last question because we're past the top of the hour and we definitely got to unveil the gift for Nadine.
Oh yes.
All right. Okay. Let's see. If you had, okay, I'm gonna go off my list. If you had any words of encouragement for any newbie, besides "don't give up," what would they be?
I got a thing.
Oh.
Hey, I got thing on.
Hold on, okay. Shh. Hey, let's slow quiet then.
All right, now you go first because
For any newbie, I would say keep an open mind. Mostly, if you get critical advice, people are trying to help you, so don't get mad, don't get upset, especially in the group. Sometimes newbies will come in, and I say newbie loosely because it's any new seller or even some of the older, the people that are kind of set in their ways will be like that. So if you get good advice from the group, from other sellers that are experienced, if you get opinions about your photos might not be so great, your keywords, this or that, take their advice. Don't take it to heart as bad criticism. Don't take it personally. It's constructive criticism, and use it and grow from it. Don't get angry and say, well, my way is right and your way is wrong. Just use their advice and grow from it and keep learning. Just keep an open mind. I'm still learning. Jay is still learning. We're all still learning. There's never an end to the amount of information that you can take in. So So, don't just use the knowledge that you get from the other sellers and keep growing.
Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback off of that and say, you're going to screw up. You are going to fail, but don't ever let that stop you. Excuse me, and learn from it. There's a reason we do the duds on our show, because I am now thrifting for 35 years, and I still get some duds. It doesn't stop me, doesn't discourage me, but I learn from it. So I either don't buy that dud anymore or I learn how to sell it better. So that's my big key is you're going to fail. Any business does. But people seem to think sometimes that what we do should be a win every time, and that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Now, you should have more wins than losses, and that's what you aim for. But when you're new, the failures will teach you more than your successes.
Yeah, and learn from your mistakes. Definitely.
Yep.
I still learn from mistakes all the time. I will in no way call myself a professional because I'm still learning from mistakes. So
I'd call you a professional.
I don't know about that. I still have duds. So
stop it. That's not what I wanted to do.
No, that's not what you wanted to do.
No, well, I'm trying to find. I just dawned on me. I'm like, I should have a little theme music for our last little segment here.
We need something Hawaiian, I think.
No, that's not it. Oh gosh. I know.
Wow. Is that Liberace?
Yeah. So let's.
Really?
No, it wasn't.
It sounded like it.
So now, just to recap, we're at the end of the show. I sent Nadine an awesome present. It decided to take a little vacation in Hawaii. It went to Honolulu instead of Philadelphia. So let's see our package, Nadine.
Okay, so I have it here, and it oddly came back. I mean, it really was on a rocking vacation in Hawaii because it came back wearing sunglasses, a Hawaiian dress, and a lei, which is kind of crazy. It really partied in Hawaii, so it was enjoying the sun, and I'm a little jealous of the package. Yeah.
Here we go. So Nadine's present went all the way to Hawaii.
Yes, it did, and it brought me back some nice Hawaiian dress, too.
All right, so let's open this gift because...
Okay, I'm ready.
I wanted to get Nate something that no matter how bad her day is, she'll
I
look at
can't
this
imagine
gift
what this is or what I'm going to think
and
of it.
she'll smile. So
and
here we go.
I am one of those people that has trouble. I'm like a little kid at Christmas. I have trouble not. So Jay actually put it in paper because I think he did that.
Somebody said a life-size giraffe. Yeah, that'd be a really tiny giraffe.
So I don't know what it is yet. I need to get some scissors to try to. Let's see. It's all bubble wrapped. It's bubble wrapped well, like I said, because it didn't. As far as I know, it didn't break with the box.
Yeah,
having a party in Hawaii.
Oh, and I added extra bubble wrap just for you to have extra bubble wrap.
Thank you. I was just thinking of that. I can use the bubble wrap. So.
Will she relist it on eBay is the question in the chat room. No, this will not be relisted on eBay.
No, I would never do that no matter what. But let's see. Oh my, you really did give me extra.
I did. I took care of you.
Wow, there's a lot of bubble wrap.
Then paper, so you couldn't just see what it was. See?
I know, that was the thing. You know me, don't you?
Yeah, no sneaking.
I tried. I will admit. So, all right, I'm down to the paper.
I had to call on a few. I got to cash in a few chips.
Okay. No way.
Yeah.
No way. No way. Oh my God. Shoot. Oh.
And this is why we did at the end of the show.
Oh my God.
I called in a favor.
I love Betty White. Let me just tell you, I adore her. I'm not a big pop culture person, but I am a big Golden Girls fan, and I'm her biggest fan. I adore her, and wow, she actually wrote my name down.
Yep, Nadine, this is going to be very weird. Nadine likes 2 celebrities and 2 celebrities only, and I was on TV, and I'm not one of them. She likes Betty White and Vin Diesel. I have no connections to Vin Diesel, but I do have connections to Betty.
Gosh. So she actually wrote to Nadine, sending good thoughts your way, Betty White and Portia is her dog. Is that?
Yep, and she knows all about what you're going through. That's why she.
No.
Yes.
No. How on earth did you do that?
Because I have good connection. I have good friends.
Oh my gosh.
I have very good friends.
Oh my gosh.
So.
No, you don't I'm like the biggest Betty White fan, and I love Betty.
So was I correct on my assessment?
I love Betty.
So will that always make you smile?
Yes, I'm her biggest fan, and oh my gosh.
See, I take care of my bestie.
Oh, it's I can't believe that Betty wrote that to me. That's just yes.
There you go. May you always look at
you
that.
Had me crying. You had me crying. You had me crying.
And no matter how you're feeling that day, may that always make you smile through the pain and discomfort.
I am the biggest Golden Girls nut, and I just she's my idol. I love Betty. Oh my gosh, she's so she's so adorable with her picture.
So we have the chat crying, but we also have some funniness. Debbie Parker.
Thank you so much. This is I have no seriously I'm not a pop culture person. But Betty White is she's my fan. She's my I don't even know what to say. I can't even talk now.
That's why I was extra mad. It went to Hawaii. It's not something I can just walk down to the store and pick up again.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
Thank you so much. I just wow.
You are so welcome, my dear.
That is the most beautiful picture, and she spelled my name right. She wrote oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Betty wrote my name. Oh my gosh. Oh.
All right, so let's thank Katherine. Katherine, thank you. I am so happy you found the group. I'm happy you found the show. I'm happy you were on the show. We welcome you into the group with open arms. And congratulations on your first sale, and let's get some more. But like I said, we will pop your story to the group, and people are going to give you suggestions. But I know you're going to be. I saw you writing your notes down. You're going to be open to them. You're going to listen, and you're going to absorb them. Yep, there you go. And you are going to get your listings really dialed in, and we'll get you some good sales. Does that sound like a good job?
I'm about to lose it and start crying. So.
Oh, my God, we lost Katherine's mic again.
Oh, no.
All right, Katherine, I'm going to say goodbye to you. We got through the show. We had some technical difficulties, but thank you, Katherine. You're an awesome guest. I will see you in the group. Nadine, there you go, my dear.
I hope everybody sees this because it's beautiful.
Angle it. Yeah, there you go.
She is my absolute idol. You have no idea. I am such a big Betty fan. It's not.
What did my wife say that everyone's saying LOL, Stacy? Is my wife giving me grief somehow?
Did you leave the price tag on the frame? No.
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, yeah, he did. It was $9.99 at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, and Stacy helped me pick it out.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, because here's
you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy.
Here's what's funny. I didn't have the picture with me, but I had taken a picture of the picture. So we were holding my phone on different frames.
Aww.
Trying to figure out which one looked the best.
It's perfect. I will. Oh, wow. Aw, thank you. I adore her. She's.
All right. On that note, I will bid you all adieu. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We had 120 live viewers, so thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for those who watch on the replay. Thank you, Katherine, and thank you, Betty White. Thank you, Kari, for helping me out with that.
Thank you, Betty. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Betty White. Oh, my goodness.
Make sure you subscribe down below, down over here. Click like over here. And like I said, our stores, the links to the shirts, all that is down below. If you're not in the Thrifting Board, come join us. If you're not on our fan page, join us there too. Next week will be our guest. We'll have another in-studio live guest, my friend Vicky, and it'll be a fun little story of how she went from fan of the TV show to lightly stalking me to now we're friends. And
I might be a little drugged up.
Yes.
I'll be post-surgery, but I'm determined to be here. I was on the show the same. I think I got discharged within 2 hours after my double mastectomy and did the show, so I'll be here.
Yep, so it'll be for an interesting, fun show next week. So tune in next week, same day, same time. And thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.